Oh my God.
A mob of up to 300 people, including British Patriots, which the media calls members of the English Defence League, an anti-Muslim group, targeted a mosque in the town near Liverpool on Tuesday night.
I live in Bang, down the road from where this dog shot.
British police are not doing their job, and they linked the incident that happened to be caused by an Islamist. More than 50 police officers sustained injuries, including fractures, cuts, and concussions, drawing vehement condemnation from top politicians, including Prime Minister Keir Starmer. Violence has since spread to other areas, with hundreds of British supporters clashing with police in central London late Wednesday, injuring more cops and leading to more than 100 arrests. In the town of Hartlepool in northeast England, unrest continued into the early hours of Thursday as people set ablaze a vehicle and rioted in and around Murray Street, an area where Muslims live and there is a mosque.
No one told you this is more than a riot.
Most media reported that the rioting was fanned by online misinformation regarding the identity of the attacker who killed 3 minor girls and injured 5 other children and 2 adults at a Taylor Swift-themed dance class on Monday. Reports on most social media accounts suggested the suspect was a Muslim and a migrant, claims that were reflected in the mob's chants.
A mob of up to 300 people, including British right-wing radical extremists, targeted a mosque near Liverpool on Tuesday night.
Question. As for the rioters, he said they were not locals, but rather outside agitators who went back to different places in the UK. We know that the social media posts were trying to stir up a number of white, right-wing extremists to come here and to create those sorts of scenes that we all witnessed, he said. Dozens gathered outside the Southport Mosque with brushes and shovels, clearing bricks from a wall knocked down by rioters. Ibrahim Hussein, head of the Southport Mosque, expressed gratitude to the police and other community members. We came under attack for absolutely no reason. We don't even know who did this evil action. We would like to thank the police very much because they took a lot of casualties and they didn't need to. He also believes the rioters were not from Southport. They're coming from outside, obviously helping each other and texting each other and telling each other to come and meet here and destroy this building and destroy the people here, he told Anadolu. Farouk Ahmed, the muezzin at the Southport Mosque who performs the call to prayer, echoed Hussein's views. Our community and our neighbors are very helpful. We are Muslim people. Our religion is very peaceful. We don't support this villain. We are very upset about these things that happened. I've lived in Southport for the past about 40 years. Nothing like this has ever happened, he said. We've never had this kind of racism and violence. However, he stressed that the community has put up a strong show of unity by coming together and supporting one another. Gwyneth Dixon, another local, said she had never seen this kind of hatred. There was absolutely a big wall of hate walking down there, absolutely overwhelming, and then the violence that followed, she said.
The attackers, described as members of the English Defence League and an anti-Muslim group, clashed with over 50 police officers, resulting in injuries to the officers. This incident has drawn widespread condemnation from top politicians, including Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer. violence has spread to other areas, with British supporters clashing with police in central London and over 100 arrests in Hartlepool.
As you have been hearing all day on LBC and across the media, we've spoken of little else, that there are more than 30 rallies apparently that have taken place or are being planned by the far right across Britain this weekend. And this is raising one of the most serious prospects of public disorder since the 2011 riots. And we know that many of these demonstrations are targeting mosques and asylum centres. And I don't know about you, but I'm kind of tired of the attempt to pretend that these violent thugs who tried to weaponize that terrible, terrible tragedy that happened in Southport on Monday, that they represent us in any way, that they are representative of the British people. We're so much better than that, I think. So the question I want to ask you is, for those of us who want to live in a country where Muslims and immigrants feel safe and welcome, how do we make our voices louder and ensure that we are represented? Because I believe we are the majority. And as we'll discuss in just a moment, the statistics back that up. And I also want to ask you, if you are Muslim, if you're of the Muslim faith, or if you weren't born in this country, what is it that you would like to see or hear from the rest of us? Because you must be terrified right now. And I hate the fact that you must feel that way. So what can we do? 0345 6060 973 is the number to call. You can text 84850 or send a comment to LBC via your Alexa. I've been really inspired this week. I know that's a strange thing to say, given some of the scenes that have unfolded, but we've seen images and footage of communities not only coming out to protect mosques and asylum centres, but also to clean up the mess left behind after these riots. And I saw this quote in the Times from John Wilson, who was one of the people who came out to do that in Liverpool. He's 65 years old. He's lived in Liverpool all his life. And he felt inspired to come out and guard the Browham Terrace Mosque. And he told the Times, the majority of people think this is a disgrace, what's going on. Not even here, just here, all around the country. And I think he's right. I think bad faith actors are seeking to try and persuade us that these riots are symptomatic of something legitimate. But as far as I can work out, and I think there's not really any way you can argue with this, it's a combination of disinformation and opportunism by people with nefarious intentions. And I was also really struck by this quote. I was reading Gabby Hinsliff's column in The Guardian yesterday. And I thought that this quote was really powerful. So I brought it into the studio today to share with you. She says, "Don't be fooled in the coming days by lukewarm condemnations of the violence, which segue suspiciously fast into arguing that maybe underneath it all, the rioters had a point worth taking seriously about knife crime, or the country supposedly falling apart 5 minutes after Labour got elected, or mass immigration, or any other hard right soapbox issue. Don't allow the normalisation of something still thankfully far from normal, even in an age of industrial scale seeding of disinformation on social media by malign actors, or of the homegrown extremism they have learned to exploit. The country is not on the point of revolt, as Nigel Farage tweeted, despite his best efforts. Most of us are overwhelmingly with the street sweepers and tea makers of Southport who just want to rebuild and live in peace." I loved that quote. It really warmed my heart to read that. And not only do I think she's right, I also hope that she's right. And that's why I want to focus on that this hour. I want you to tell me, first of all, if you are scared right now by what's going on, what we can do to reassure you, particularly if you're Muslim. I would like to hear from you on that.
Unrest continues with incidents like a vehicle being set ablaze and rioting near a mosque on Murray Street. The rioting is believed to be fueled by misinformation online about the identity of an attacker who killed 3 young girls and injured others at a Taylor Swift-themed dance class.
Off our streets! Off our streets! Off our streets! Off our streets! Our streets! Our streets!
Don't say anything, no
Yes,
comments.
your priority, right?
You've just stolen.
Excuse me, that's not
Put it back then. Put back what you've took out. Put back what you've took out. Put back.
Contrary to social media reports suggesting the suspect was a Muslim migrant, the police confirmed he is a 17-year-old British-born male.
What did we do to deserve this? We've already lost our children. You know, our community's grieving. How dare they come here to our town and do this? It's disgusting. It really is disgusting.
Chief Constable Serena Kennedy has warned of the risk of further violence and riots. Mayor Steve Rotherham emphasised the need to counter fake news and false narratives driving the protesters' support.
Stop the boat! Stop the boat! Stop the boat! Soldiers!
Watch yourself for these fucking bricks coming off. Because there's a few fuckers got cock eyes. Stand there, lad. I'll get me on YouTube. I'm trying to be.
Do you write down what you're going to say?
Honestly, man, it's far away. Our streets! Our streets! Our streets! Racist scum not welcome here! Racist scum not welcome here! Keep the fascists off our streets, no justice, no peace! Racist scum not welcome here!
Stop and search. Officers have now identified themselves over station either.
Yellow flyer?
What are you searching for?
The local community, including the head of the Southport Mosque, has expressed shock and gratitude for the police's efforts. Neighbours and community members have shown support for the mosque.
Your worries then, Dame Diana Johnson, about the unrest and whether it will last through the summer. I mean, your MP for Hull, it was a particularly bad hit last night.
Well, I think this has been just a very difficult week. Obviously starting on Monday with the appalling tragedy in Southport. But police officers throughout the week have had to deal with criminal disorder. They've had bricks thrown at them. Many have been injured. And so I want to start just by recognising the role that the police play in keeping us all safe. And clearly this weekend we've had more disorder. And what we're very clear about in government is we support the police. We want them to take all the action that they can to deal with this violent disorder. We want to make sure that people who take part in this are brought to book, that they are arrested, that they go through the criminal justice system. There are consequences for people who are marauding in our streets, the thugs that are attacking our police, and actually they will be held to account. So I think that was our focus this weekend, to make sure that they understand that there are consequences for what they are doing.
And the consequence will be that courts will be open overnight to prosecute people?
The Prime Minister has been very clear that we will do whatever it takes to make sure that people can get through the court system. We've already got people arrested and remanded into custody. It's very clear that we want to send that message to people. If you engage in this type of criminal thuggery on our streets, you will be held to account and you will go through the system, and that could include imprisonment, it could include banning orders. There are various things that we will want to see happen.
And it could include courts sitting overnight.
If that's necessary. I know that you'll recognise that the Prime Minister was the Director of Public Prosecutions in 2011 when we had similar issues, and the courts at that stage did sit through the night. So I think the Prime Minister is very well versed, alongside the Lord Chancellor, in making sure that we have available what's needed.
And even if we do prosecute these people, is there room in jail to hold them, or will there just be a slapped wrist and off they go?
No, there are places available. Again, the Lord Chancellor met with the Prime Minister and the Home Secretary and myself this week, reassured us that there was that capacity available in the prison estate. We also had a meeting on Thursday with Chief Constables to discuss whether the police had everything that they needed. Obviously, they have plans in place for public disorder. They're very long-standing plans. They're able to redirect officers as required through mutual aid. So the police have everything they need at the moment. The powers are there that can be used to deal with these people, and that's what the government is sending that message out. The powers are there. The police have what they need. We need to stamp down on these individuals and the behaviours that they're exhibiting on our streets, which are causing such mayhem in our communities, including my own in Hull.
Will the army be brought in to deal with rioters?
No, there is no ask from the police on that issue. They made very clear at the meeting on Thursday with the Prime Minister that they have the resources that they need to deal with the public disorder that we've seen in the last few days.
Will you be prescribing the EDL?
Well, you will know it's a very long-standing issue that prescription is not discussed publicly by the government about who or which groups we are going to prescribe. So that's not something I can comment on.
Why not?
It's a long-standing way that this is dealt with. Because it's of national security issue, it's dealt with by the government. It's not publicly commented on.
Is there a chance of a COBRA meeting, do you think?
I'm not aware of a COBRA meeting, but as I've said, the Prime Minister has already convened a meeting on Thursday with Chief Constables to discuss about the operational approach to this public disorder. And then there was a meeting yesterday, again, that the Prime Minister chaired with the Home Secretary, with the Lord Chancellor.
This incident highlights the rise of extremism and hate crimes in the UK, fueled by misinformation and online radicalisation. The local community's resilience in the face of adversity is notable as they stand united against hatred and violence.
State of this. Here we are in the city centre, people smashing things up.
An abhorrent, senseless act of violence towards our police officers. We're not going to be able to attend all of the incidents that are coming in on the 999s because we're having to direct the priorities of what's happening on the streets.
I want everyone to be clear. Anyone who gets involved in criminal disorder, violent thuggery on our streets will have to pay the price, and they should expect there to be arrests, prosecutions, penalties, and the full force of the law, including imprisonment, travel bans, and more.
The situation has prompted scrutiny of social media platforms for spreading false information, leading to calls for tighter regulations and better control over news dissemination.
Thousands of people have taken part in a far-right protest in central London this afternoon, led by activist Tommy Robinson. There's also been an anti-racist counter-protest nearby. Well, Sky's Martin Brunt joins me now. So, Martin, we've had these two rallies in London, it was made sure that they wouldn't meet necessarily, but how have things gone so far?
Well, Tommy Robinson, the far-right activist, had been urging his supporters for weeks to turn out today. He said it would be the biggest day of his life and of theirs, and a lot of people did respond. Something like 9,000 or 10,000 of his supporters marched through central London, a short march to Trafalgar Square. He said that this would be a day when the world would finally listen to their voice. Their main chant was one of, "We want our country back." It was largely peaceful. It's not over yet, but the police feel that things have gone without any huge incident. There were, amongst his group of supporters, though, some very offensive anti-Muslim chants. During the afternoon, we did speak to some of his supporters.
The government that's installed are not acting in the best interest of the people. They're not even listening to what the people want. So I want to know what can be done about that, because it seems like you can't vote your way out of it. Whoever comes into power, they just operate under the same agenda, it feels like. So the people don't have a voice. So I feel like this is the best chance that people have at having a voice, is coming to a gathering like this. But I'm still not really seeing what can be done about it. No one's talking about that. You know? I've already seen this film. I want to know what can be done. That's why I'm here.
Today's protest is about everyone's dissatisfaction with how we're being governed, to be honest. People are just fed up with not having a voice. I know there's a lot of people say that this is a racist thing and all that kind of thing, but I don't see that. I just see ordinary people who are just fed up and don't seem to have a voice.
There was a counter-protest, far fewer numbers, in their hundreds rather than their thousands. Stand up to racism, that was the general banner for those counter-protesters, carrying banners with slogans such as no to racism, no to hatred. We spoke to some of their supporters.
For me personally as well, to feel more hopeful and to feel like I'm not by myself whenever I'm, thinking how scary it really looks like to be alive like right now.
And we came from Eastbourne to make sure that, try and, show him that there is an opposition, and most people in the UK are anti-racist, and that immigration is important and a valuable asset to the UK.
I believe that we should be here every day, every time they come out, to stand against them, to show that what is this country about, what is London is about, is we are multiculturalists, we are here.
The police have been working tirelessly to restore order and ensure resident safety with commendable efforts, despite the challenges posed by violent mobs. The government is also taking steps to prevent further escalation and protect vulnerable communities.
This
community leaders and activists stress the importance of unity and peaceful coexistence, advocating for understanding and tolerance to overcome divisions and prevent hate-fueled violence.
Ladies and gentlemen, please move back onto the pavement. Come on. Something has to give. It's free children. Where was your meat? Get back! Stay back! Get back now! Get back! Get back now! Get back now! Stay back! Get back! Get back! Get back now! Stay back! Get back! Stay back! Stay back now! Get back! Stay back now! Absolutely nothing.
The local mosque plans interfaith events and dialogues to foster better relationships among different communities. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and for more content like this, be sure to subscribe to the channel.